Welcome back, everyone, to Hearthstone Grandmasters. We're currently trying to get Zalae's attention to try and wake up and get ready for the series. I think that was what the problem was. The players weren't responding because the day went on a little bit longer. It's a very long, hard-fought day. And we're going to get ready for the series to finally start here, as I do believe the players are responding.
I heard their practice match, so that's a good sign.
Yep. Waking up. Players, they check in some hours before the series actually begins. But we have some long delays because we will wait for the end of the game in the series. No matter how long it takes, TJ.
That's right.
Let the
It
hunt
takes
begin.
days. Weeks, perhaps. That would never happen. All right.
Yep.
Demon Hunter for purple and the Face Hunter for Zalae. Tempo matchup for the first 3 turns, and then a race to the finish line. That's what this comes down to.
Yeah, and I think that what you end up seeing with the Demon Hunter versus the Hunter is these first 2 turns are going to make pretty much the entire matchup. And I've tried several different play patterns with how we choose to go about the early game, and I think almost across the board, every time I didn't coin the Prison Felma, I regretted it.
Yep.
Part of what makes Face Hunter really interesting is that the first 2 turns pretty much put you on a path of no return. You just gotta commit. It's one of those things where if you are a player that, so very, very candidly, it's a pretty straightforward deck, but those first 2 turns, do not mess them up. If you mess them up whatsoever, you will kick yourself like, oh, I'm out by 2 damage, and if I just did this, I would have had the 2 damage. And so it's a great deck to actually teach fundamentals for Hearthstone and card games in general. And, when it comes to pushing damage, you got to really find a way to squeeze it out.
Yeah.
After the first 2 turns, I would say it is relatively straightforward, like pretty easy to play. But these first 2 turns can be super tricky if you're just not well-versed in like what the meta is and what you need to be doing.
Yeah. No. Definitely agreed there. Prison Felma will plop out and attack something next turn.
Yep. Frozen Shadow Weaver is a good contest to it. The Felma's worst enemy is a 4-attack minion waiting on the other side of it.
Demons.
So the Frozen Shadow Weaver lines up very nicely into this.
Yeah. If he plays Frozen Shadow Weaver, it means a double trade so that the hero power can't come down and protect the minion. Okay, I like this too. This keeps all of his minions alive, so that Prison Felma is least likely to go to face, and he still has the Crimson Sigil Runner on board to contest that Blazing Battle Mage potentially next turn. Let's see! Ooh! That's the stuff right there, Dan.
Yeah, that was exactly what Purple wanted. And, in the end, like, it's still not the worst thing in the world. You had the 2 mana minion trade into a 3, but if the Thelma goes face, there's a world of difference that ends up happening, is that you can start racing immediately. Now Zalae's got to take it a little bit slower. Definitely a little bit of a pivotal moment here for Zalae. If he equips this weapon, he's pretty much just going to have to start going face. The explosive trap that can get pulled by the Face Stalker is going to be really good on turn 4. Then he's going to use his trackings from that point on to finish out the rest of the game. He can deviate by tracking right here, but there isn't that many things that I'd honestly want aside from Scavenger's Ingenuity. So I'd probably say that for Zalae, it's still just meant to set up the Eaglehorn Bones to the Face Stalker.
Yeah, and with tracking, there's also potential that he hits Scavenger's Ingenuity, but then tracks over explosive shots. Or explosive traps, rather, which means that Face Stalker loses its value.
Right.
and you're more likely to get better options from tracking if you pull out the. Oh yeah, this one's gonna be tough for Zalae. This one's gonna be real tough. 29 damage to go.
Yeah, he is playing the similar version to what we saw Language Hacker play, which was oriented around Cobalt Sand Trooper and getting a little bit more board presence on it. A little bit less direct damage, but he split the difference. He didn't play like straight up Leopard Gnomes in his deck like Language Hacker. He's got a single scrap shot in there. Yeah. I think that's important because the scrap shot's going to give him some more range to fight back here.
Face Stalker Explosive Trap would give him an extra charge of this Eagle Horn Bow, deal with much of the board, at least via trades, because Purple would likely trade the lower health minions into the Face Stalker and then activate Explosive Trap and redevelop. And I think that's what Zalae's thinking, that this Explosive Trap doesn't have much value outside of 2 face damage and an extra Eagle Horn charge bow. So yeah, it looks like he's going to deviate and go for more of a, all right, I'm going to wait till you develop.
Yep.
And then try and get this Explosive Trap to clear up more of your board.
Yeah, and I think that's a gamble that is worth taking. I think one thing that people might misunderstand, and I'm actually glad that Sato called this out during our practice session, was that you might get a little too trigger happy with Explosive Trap. That being said, this Frozen Shadow Weaver is not going to die to Explosive Trap, so he's still going to need a little bit extra change. Hound's reasonable, but you don't want to take too much damage here. You still have to survive the Demon Hunter pressure, which, if you give them time, they will most certainly be able to mount this 13 remaining damage. A little late for Toxic Reinforcements here. Yeah. Dwarven Sharpshooter is actually pretty intriguing because it allows you to pick off that Frozen Shadow Weaver if you need, because you don't have to guarantee to kill it without using Unleash the Hounds. And that feels kind of bad.
Yeah. I'm the only option.
I see.
Ooh. Metamorphosis is honestly quite a big pickup, because that allows him to threaten the lethal next turn, even if Zalae moves. And honestly, I think that it will likely be lethal damage. Purple might be worried about second Explosive Trap here, but honestly, this game's coming to a close.
Time grows short.
Is some merit to like beaming Sidekick and like equipping the second Umberwing, because that means you're still setting up for 2 turns through through explosive.
Yep. And it's hard for your opponent to answer that. I do like beaming Sidekick here for that reason.
Yeah. And now, I mean, just hero power, Metamorphosis hero power next turn is lethal through anything. So.
Correct. And I think this is lights out here for Zalae. Definitely going to at least try to think of his best play in this scenario, which seems to be a combination of Dwarven Sharpshooter and Unleash the Hounds.
I wonder.
But, it won't matter here. Anything that Zalae does, he is dead. Explosive Trap is also fun to think about, considering that, all these minions will end up getting killed on board.
Yeah. So you unleash, one goes into the Shadow Weaver, and then the rest go face, and you hit face with the weapon.
Yeah,
That's the best setup you can make.
You got reasonably close. Like, if the explosive trap goes off and he's able to swing with the weapon, you can get him to single digits, but in the end, just that momentum from Purple early on was too much to stop. That's going to wrap up game number 1. Purple gets a huge win here. Every win is so critical because he needs to be able to win this series. And that's going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Look at Purple's reload. Well, he did get close. Scavenger Ingenuity picks up a Stone Tusk Boar. That's a close game. But hard to think around those scenarios where Purple just didn't draw a card that he actually drew. So it's a tough one. Maybe that changes his plays down the line. But yeah, you're right. Big win. Demon Hunter out of the way. A deck that's been struggling most of the day today. And honestly, not like, despite its power level, it hasn't been performing up to like what the perceived power level was, because its win rate has been under 50% now after like today's games across all 3 regions, probably significantly under 50% win rate. But I guess that happens in Conquest a lot, where there's a deck that's super powerful and brought by everyone every time, which means that players are going to guarantee to count for it in their lineup decision making and how they build their lineup, and so its win rate's going to suffer because of that. But still surprising to see, just because I think Demon Hunter has a power level that's not matched by any.
Well, Demon Hunter still did struggle a little bit today, but we'll see. I'm very curious about that priest deck from Purple, because his priest deck is slightly different from a lot of the other priests. He's got much more, not much more, but he's got some stuff there that will help him fight against the aggro a little better. And I want to see this priest deck get another chance, because it definitely got ran over way harder than I expected in that previous series he played earlier this week. So I'm looking forward to it. We got Priest versus Demon Hunter coming up here for game number 2. And he has that Wild Pyromancer in the opening hand with Apotheosis, so already a good start here for Purple. Zalae does not have too much going on here just from the opening hand, but he can improve it a lot. Is it worth keeping Beaming Psychic in the Priest match?
Allows you to challenge a Disciple of Galakron. That's about it. I'd much rather have something that challenges Disciple of Galakron that's also bigger.
Yeah. Seems reasonable to me. And from here, I think that you could almost make a case. Well, you couldn't make a case for Crimson Cinderunner here, but Blazing Battle Mage here definitely has a case to be made, because you have the ability to play Crimson Cinderunner on the following turn, and you really want to push that damage for that Battle Fiend, and for the ability to get that Frenzy Phobia out for really cheap. Oh my.
Oh, yeah. I like that one. That one's good.
Honestly, isn't that part of the reason to play things like Chaotic Strike, so you can get a little bit extra damage out, so that perhaps Felwing can come out cheap?
Yeah. It's just a lot of players have been cutting the Frenzied Felwing. Yeah. That's an interesting turn, honestly. There's one keep from Purple. Keeps in this matchup include like Wild Pyromancer, Penance, Shadow Madness, Breath of the Infinite.
They will never catch me.
Decides to deviate.
Okay. I guess he's just like anticipating that his plays will get better if he ends up going for a slower play. Doesn't need to rush things out. And I mean, he's guaranteed to get the Frenzy Following out this turn. Oh, interesting. Even slower,
They
TJ.
will never catch me.
Yeah. The thing was, like, by the Crimson Sigil Runner was always going to be outcast because it was in the far left. Okay, yeah. So that was my. If he would have played the Frenzied Following this turn, I think it would have just been almost like strictly worse to not go for the Chaos Strike Frenzied Following because you'd miss out on like 3 extra damage over 2 turns. Kind of just 1 extra damage in the grand scheme of things, because you are pretty confident that Breath of the Infinite is there. But he holds back on Frenzied Following. But the argument against it the other way is that, well, now when is the Frenzied Following going to come down? Because now you have to set up another board and then have a full another turn to hit face with that board and then play Frenzied Following.
I grow
And that's also
impatient.
giving Purple a lot of time.
Yeah, that is true. And
Against Priest, I kind of just like to go fast, go hard until I know that I have to play a more value-oriented game plan. Like until they show me that I have to.
okay.
And Zalae just went for a more value-oriented game plan from the get-go.
I can buy it. Jeez. Okay, is now the time. I guess you could set up the Warglaze of Asnoth and then just go in, but have we given too much opportunity for Purple to get set up?
I grow impatient.
From Zalae's perspective, it seems like it, but honestly, Purple's hand is a whole lot of nothing as far as playing against the Demon Hunters go. Shadow Word Death only really hits the Glade Bound at him.
Yeah,
He's
this is
out
the
of board
wrong
sweepers.
half of the deck for Purple.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
And honestly, Apotheosis would have been sick here. Purple threw it away in the mulligan.
Yeah, was there a... Well, I guess this ends up working out okay. I was wondering if it was better for him to coin the Pyromancer and heal it, but I guess it doesn't... You don't want to use that mana that way, so this ends up being just good enough for Purple, and finally stabilize at 11 HP. Oof.
Yeah.
That is
I don't
so few.
I don't even know if I'd call that stabilizing. I mean, that's effectively 8, and that's just with the weapon swing. Ah, the Vulpir Scoundrel
grow
tech coming in for
impatient.
Zalae here.
Oh, yeah.
Demon Hunter just has so many high-value spells. Card just... It's good. Good card. Purple needs Breath of the Infinite, Renew. Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. That works. That works real nice.
Yeah. And, oh, Madame Lazul, he gets a Vulpir Scoundrel.
Ah!
Which means that he
Vulpir's-
could curate his next draw.
Yeah.
That's sick.
I mean, he doesn't die.
Yeah, but he's not going to die. Vulpir Scoundrel can't have any spells that are going to kill him this turn. This turn, Dan.
Yes, you are correct.
Inner Demon will kill him next turn. But that's also an expensive gamble. Because you know that Purple has a Vulpir Scoundrel of his own. If he finds a way to heal at all, then you're done. If he puts a taunt in the way, you're done.
Hey,
I mean,
Inner
that's just...
Demon is not a flexible card. By any definition of the word.
Yep. And I think you want to go face to... Well, I guess trading off the minion.
Apotheosis.
Yeah. Plays around Apotheosis.
But if he had Apotheosis naturally, he probably would have played on the Wild Pyromancer the turn he went off. Because he could have gone Wild Pyromancer, Apotheosis, Coin, Thought Steal. And that would have cleared off almost everything and healed him for like 1 million.
I will act as your scale dragon.
Zalae's like, oh no.
Yeah, warded.
Now what do I do?
Whew. I mean, that's still a lot of pressure.
It is, and I mean, Zalae's range is just 9 from hand. So
Our enemies will fall.
And this 2 damage to face is still pretty crucial to stop Purple from being able to heal outside that range.
yep.
Oh, it's close. He needs Renew.
Yeah, I mean, he could still heal out of range with Penance plus a hero power. I just don't know if okay, plays around the inner demon range,
Wow.
but he's got to play around that forever. Oh no, that's so awkward.
I think you go for the inner demon now.
We all
Yep.
have demons.
Purple's like, wow, really glad I hero powered instead of playing the Envoy of Azul.
Yeah. That was big.
All
Gonna win big.
right, looking for health. Those are not health. Mr. Choice? Holy Nova.
Holy Nova. Yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah, it's health.
It's got to be like Fate Weaver heal your face, right?
There. Oh. So this plays
Wow.
around. This plays around second Gladebound Adept.
True.
Plays around Warglaze of Azeroth.
Yes.
Neither of those plays play around Metamorphosis. So you might as well. Just Holy Nova. I mean, it cuts out 2 additional outs.
Right, and you're just trying to survive. That's the name of the game here.
Yep.
Forget everything else.
Yep.
Your head isn't as empty as it looks.
Yeah. He gets like, okay, what would be in his hand that he didn't play? And it's like,
Yeah.
Hellfiend.
The other 2 would have for sure been played.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just got to play his stuff.
Bound to fate.
7 is out of range of a lot of things.
We back in there though.
Oh, he's 1 off. 6 damage.
This is starting to become a very like
grow
reasonable
impatient.
offensive. This is 10 damage on the board.
Purple has
He still has a second slice as
second
well.
slice.
So that's 2 extra damage.
Yeah, and if he has Apotheosis, you'd never beat him anyway. Right? So
I grow impatient.
So I think it might be the hero power go face, and you use Gladebound to remove.
he would have to have a damage from somewhere, which like isn't even possible.
grows short.
Like the only possibility to get damage is exactly Apotheosis, and you'd lose anyway if he played that. So I don't think you're playing around any damage range.
Whoa!
Oh,
That's huge.
he's 1 damage off, right?
Yes.
10 on board, 2 damage off. 10 on board because second slice adds 2. There's 2 damage off.
I must consider.
So heal and then Galakron and put him on one thing.
I am beyond imagination.
Oh, brutal. Zalae just kind of getting locked out every single time. There's still one last shred of hope, and that is Skull of Gul'dan. It would require a series of amazing pickups here, but it's still possible, and it is no longer
Whop whop.
Do you see?
in that realm of possibilities. Zalae just going to go ahead and show his hand,
All I see is
and that's going to do it. Game number 2, Purple up 2-0. Priest able to just narrowly survive. Has come down to just a couple of damage points. Nothing really jumps to mind in the ways Zalae could have squeezed out even more damage. But he did take it a little bit slow in the beginning. So
Yeah.
in terms of his lines of play, he did maximize his damage from what he committed to, but was his overall macro strategy something worth considering, TJ?
And that's what you kind of have to question. That's why, like I said, I like the go all out until, Priest shows you that they have the answer. Because if you try and play value game, then you get into situations like that where sometimes you're just a little bit off. And if he had played the Frenzied Fellwing with the Chaos Strike on 2, then that's 3 attack instead of 2 attack that he has on board. He pushes the damage immediately. Maybe Purple feels more threatened, but overall, that would have been the 1 extra damage since his Frenzied Fellwings ended up getting removed the turn they were played anyway. It's tough. It's really tough. Hard to go back and look at those things, but that's kind of the spot when you're that close in the game. You have to think about those things of what could have gone differently. But Purple, the only deck remaining left for him is Rogue. And Rogue did struggle for Purple in one of his series last week. His Rogue actually got reverse swept. It might have even been in the first series that he played in the round robin stage, where he was playing the Secret Galakron Rogue, and it got swept. So he's been in this position before, and it didn't end well last time.
this
But
ends
Rogue,
now.
pretty consistent deck with not a lot of terrible matchups. You get 3 chances to win with it. Seems like good odds to me.
Yeah, I'm liking Purple's position, and this is a matchup that still could just easily go Purple's way here with a hand like that. All he needs is one thing, TJ. A nice little 2-drop to accompany his cat.
See it. No, but that's good.
That's also pretty good.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, Ancestral Guardian ends up being pretty clutch if the Demon Hunter gets off to a pretty quick start, which it had potential to do.
Demons. Demons.
All right, so this early Umberwing, but that's something that the dagger can handle. It's not something that's not too tough.
Yeah, I was thinking there. Rogue's gonna dagger up on turn 2 almost every time anyway, unless they pick up a 2-minion reborn minion. Your plays for the following turns are not great. I was thinking just go Chaos Strike there, and then next turn you could Hero Power set up or set up the Umberwing on a turn where it's a little bit more awkward to start chipping away into minions. Or, Umberwing into Beaming Sidekick and go for a burst of board presence instead of just little chippy board damage, which is what he has now.
Hey, I got you, friend.
All right, well, this is going to be pretty hard without a secret. Does not find it, but he finds a Seal Fate, and that's also a nice consolation prize.
Yep, we'll have to commit the dagger swing though. That's why Zalae utilized the Beaming Sidekick here. And this damage is going to stick. Another Umberwing. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Argument here though is, do you Hero Power first and hold on to Umberwing, or do you just go in and start pushing damage? I think that Umberwing, usually you swing first and then equip Umberwings. That way you have some potential for cleaner trades for longer. Or to be able to hold on to additional weapon swings for like Satyr Overseer or Gladeban Adept. But this is coming out on turn 4. He's going to have the swings anyway. And he also has Twin Slice and Second Slice in hand. So this is looking like a hand of deal as much damage as quick as you can and hope that the card you draw off the top every turn is more damage or draws more damage.
True. I mean, this might help the Evil Miscreant getting the lackeys. Okay. Kobold Lackey, Witchy Lackey.
Board presence.
Witchy Lackey onto the Kobold Lackey makes an Evil Cube.
Ugh.
And that didn't do anything. But Zalae, like we're talking about, kind of out of gas here.
Ugh.
I guess the nice thing is that he can just use his pressure to clear the board. Doesn't have to worry about Frenzied Fellwing being cheaper.
Lay needs a Skull of Gul'dan. Stat. Or Metamorphosis. Stat.
Stat. ASAP. Well, this looks like Purple's game to lose from this position. He's just really dominant with his Faceless Corruptor, and this is the point of no return. For Zalae, he's got to draw something nice. Does not find it. Oof. That is one of the weakest draws in his deck.
Yep. So, at this point, you might even hold on to it. Just for Altruist. Like, kill off the lackey so Purple can't get High Spear and Togwaggle value on 6. Maybe you pick up Altruist next turn. Is a 2/2 really doing something? Is it contesting enough to warrant playing it? Is it worth holding on to for a 1 in 20 to pick up Altruist? A lot of questions.
There's just really not a lot of permutations that Zalae could even get off of that Altruist Skull Dance dynamic that would even pull him back in. He's just too far behind.
Yeah.
And Purple, he's really trying hard to like understand how Zalae's just been floating a bajillion mana. But so he's going to be defensive. He's like, oh, just in case he has a way to try and get me, I'm just going to play the Shield of Galakrond. Oh, jeez. He's holding out for the possibility of Metamorphosis, but Purple. I mean, you could pick any of these dragons.
Yeah.
Kind of play anything, but this is going to be the final push. And that's going to do it. Zalae is out of this game. There's no way you can recover from floating a dozen mana crystals as this point of the game. And
I got you, friend.
poor Zalae. It just looks like he didn't really get a chance to really play much Hearthstone today.
Yeah. It was that one close series against Priest, and, you know, that's kind of the one that, you know, we were able to analyze the most. But other than that, it's just kind of some poor panouts. And honestly, Purple's kind of due for this, right? Like, he had a very tilting series attend us.
That's one way to outlet your frustration. Congrats to Purple, but I kind of want to see the other cam right now.
Yeah. He's like, you may have won the series, but at least I got these.
That's right. Things within your control.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, quick 3-0 to wrap up the day, and you know, overall a critical victory for Purple. Going down 0-4 it spells doom. But you know, gotta tip my cap to the rest of the players here who's been hanging in there, and Purple, like, perhaps getting a ray of hope that he can probably stay competitive in this division. And after it's been said and done for today, we are done with 4 matches. And let's go ahead and recap what we saw today. So we started off with Gallon and Just Saying, where Gallon's able to win 3-1 in a pretty nice back and forth. Then a couple of really long Game 5 series where it looked like it was going one way and then it went the other. Monsanto and Firebat able to get the last say there. Definitely would highly recommend watching that Firebat Muzzy series. Really cool. And then Purple with a fast 3-0 over Zalae to wrap it up.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun day, honestly. If I had to pick one series, if you are like just tuning in now and missed everything and you have time to watch one series, probably Firebat versus Muzzy. With some high-level play, but also with some kind of insane twists mixed in, which, you know, that's kind of refreshing. Players kind of utilizing resources from out of their deck to win. It was a pretty cool one. And at the end of that, Firebat, obviously, you know, spoiler alert, you saw it on the graphic there, taking the win. But it was a fun one. And now Firebat is in the lead of Division B after a rough start and some close series. He's kind of pulled himself back up and is looking incredible, honestly.
That's right. And he is our division leader for Division B right now, as only 2 other players remain undefeated. Today we went in with several. But with Muzzy and Zalae rather taking those losses, no one in Division B is undefeated anymore. Meanwhile, Gallon and Bloodyface will be playing tomorrow. Firebat's done for the week. Great job to him. Who else will be able to be in the 3-win plus club? We'll find out. Tomorrow's matches are going to be pretty fun too, as we have lots more action being planned. As you saw, pretty much everybody who has 2 games will be guaranteed to play, and then people who have 3 will have a chance to stack it up. Tomorrow's matches that I'm specifically looking forward to is Gallon versus Bloodyface. Both are undefeated, and Zalae versus Muzzy, because the winner of that will control the division along with Firebat.
Yeah, should be fun. We'll only have 1 undefeated player at the end of tomorrow, but that also means we're guaranteed to have an undefeated player because of that Gallon versus Bloodyface series. Kind of the battle of consistency. Bloodyface consistent over, you know, a long period of time, where Gallon has been the most consistent player across this season of Grandmasters, being #1 seed in Division A, coming out of Swiss, and now undefeated. He's just not losing many games or matches, period. So that should be a really good one. And it's sandwiched in the middle of the day, Dan. So we have time to build up to it and time to cool down from it. It's going to be great. Great.
Now I'm hungry. Well, that's it for us on our Saturday broadcast. So if you missed any part of this, you can always go ahead and check out the YouTube VOD content, as well as plan out and get those reminders by hitting that bell, and we'll get notifications on when stream goes live. Also, if you want to check out the deck lists, I know a lot of people who watch want to follow along and try out those decks. Go to playhearthstone.com/esports, find the standings, find the schedule, and even get plugged into the program yourself. A big shout out to T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network, as well as all the producers. We're going to go ahead and sign off here. So from Frodan and TJ and everybody else here as part of the GM program, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for more Hearthstone.
Hearthstone Grandmasters is brought to you by T-Mobile. Rank up with America's largest 5G network. Switch to T-Mobile today.